everybody. Welcome to RV Travel Talk Tuesday. I'm so excited. You guys are awesome. For those of you who don't know, we are traveling with this awesome holiday party. We're going to call it the birthday party for Kelly, otherwise known as Vanderella. So happy birthday, Kelly. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks so much, Giants Journey, for the amazing shout out. So Giants Journey typically goes on before me, which is fantastic. They do a great show. And then we go on at 9 Central Standard Time. That's 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Got to do all that whole thing. But anyways, this is the first time that we're doing a really cool RV travel talk afterwards. And I know you guys have amazing questions and I want to answer them all and want to get through some hot topics. But let's say hi to some people real quick while we have them. Speaking of the birthday girl, there she is. Howdy, folks. Thank you so much. And Giants Dirty. That's right. Big Ray. Thank you so much. My buddy, Thrifty Angela. Hope everyone's having a great night. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that very much so. She's like, let them eat cake. It's her birthday, of course. I will go with the chocolate cake just to let you know. One of my faves, absolutely. And there's Crystal. Oh my gosh. Hey, Charlie Grace. That's right. Nice to see you again. And there's Tim and Duke. Hey, quirky butt. Gotta love Duke. Duke's really cool. She Devil's here. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate it. We got 28 in the house right now, guys. Do me a favor, pretty please. If you would please go right now and do a thumbs up and or let's share this out. Let's see if we can get quite a few people in the chat. That'd be fantastic because I've got some headlines. I got some cool stuff. And the more people we have, the more we can learn. It's really cool. I love these things. Let me go back here and see what else we have. Let's see. Oh, wait, it's jumping on me. The chat's jumping. Oh no. Floss is here. Hey, Floss, good to see you. And Patty. And I miss you guys. What can I say? I don't get to see everyone so much. It's been a really crazy year. A lot of travel coming up. So hopefully I can see things. Let's see. Let me keep. Oh, boondocking with the Boyers. Hey, good to see you. All right, guys, here's the deal. I know there's plenty, and Vernay, there's lots of you I want to say hi to, and we're going to get to you. I'm going to pause the chat. You guys can keep talking. Just chat amongst yourselves because I've got a little bit of programming to do. So typically what's going to happen on RV Travel Talk days is this is not only a live stream, but it's also a podcast. I typically take apart the front end of all by saying hi to everybody. Hi. Thanks for being here. And then we go into some headlines and you guys ask me some questions and we talk about what it is that you guys want to talk about because that's why we're here, right? RV Travel Talk. But I've got some really cool things to share with you that you might want to know. And I think it's pretty cool too. So with that being said, let's see. I think it's time I got scroll because you know me, I get all this stuff put together. Let's go into our headlines. All right. So here's the deal, guys. There's lots and lots of things going on. But one of the biggest announcements that everyone's talking about, if you're on YouTube, you'll see all these people putting out videos about the wholesale RV shipments are down. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? So bottom line is, COVID was a big boom. We all know this. Everyone was buying things during COVID. And, people have just we've sort of normalized. We're at a point now where we're normalizing, trying to find out exactly where we need to be and have that market, be there. So what you'll find out is that apparently they've said that it's in July total is 30% lower this July than 2022. And that's like 30,000 units. That's a lot. So for a lot of these people who work in these plants, that's a huge adjustment. And if you've ever worked in manufacturing, you understand how hard that can be. So our thoughts go out to those who are working in the industry and we're hoping that's going to go up. But I've got some good news. So hold on, let's hold that thought. And we're going to move on to the next slide, which is cool. We're going to talk about Winnebago, because you know what? Winnebago is like a fantastic product. However, they're going to go back to their roots. They're going to go back and start doing a travel trailer line called Access. It's a little more on the affordable side. It's really cool. And they've launched it out. It was at the Tampa show. It's going to be at the Hershey show. And I think they're putting this out in November, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a lot of things happening with this line. If you haven't checked it out yet, I'll leave a link in the description. You guys can check it out. I think it's really cool. These Winnebagos, it's Access is a stick and tin travel trailer is what they're telling me. It starts about $30,000. So it's not going to break the bank. They're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive either. So they're just excited about this whole entire process. So let's see. They're going to have 4 floor plans, including like a bunkhouse model. A lot of families are going to like that. And people who like bunkhouses also, they take them out. They can make them into like an office for people who are like digital nomads on the road. So it's a really cool idea. I'm really excited about that. Let me know in the chat if you guys either owned a Winnebago, thought about getting one Winnebago, thought they were maybe too a little expensive, and now here's an idea of something a little new we could get into. Let me take a look at the comments here and see what we're going here. Why do they call it a Winnebago? Great question. Great question. We'll have to get into that just a little later. Oh, here we go. Tim says, I bought just jumped at me. Sorry. I bought my Class C RV before the boom in 2019 and saved a lot of money. Oh, yeah. So you guys know if you bought anything during the COVID times, it was insane trying to find something. I know I sold my RV during the COVID boom because people were paying top dollar for it. And it was really interesting to get all that kind of cashola in my pocket. I like that. Okay, so we just talked about the slump. However, this is the news. I want you to think about this. So we know that there are large conglomerates such as Camping World who are just going crazy when it comes to like they're buying up small mom and pop RV dealers all over the United States. And the CEO, Marcus Lemonis, told analysts on Wednesday that the RV industry appears to have seen the bottom. Like we've had the bottom, and it's going to start to go back up. So if we're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up, which is good. So that means that we don't have to worry anymore of it getting worse. But they have a whole thing where when they first announced, Camping World had 188 locations, and they plan to add like 94 over the next 5 years. And then Lamona said, screw that, we're going to go with 300. So they're going to try to go for 300 new locations. They're just adding lots and lots of stuff. So whether you're a fan of Camping World or not, just letting you know, this is happening and their buying power is significant. And it will be a telltale sign on exactly what's going on in the industry. So really, really cool stuff to know about. I love this. All right. I think congratulations are in order, and I have to tell you why, but let's say congratulations first. Here we go. Okay, guys, look at this. Westfalia and Ford have a new baby. It's called the Nugget. Okay, now this is amazing. First off, if you haven't heard about the Nugget, it's been around for a little bit, but they're now adding to this whole camper van partnership. It's really, really interesting. So I'm really excited about this, and it gives people another price point. We keep talking about who's coming in and what they're doing. This is a really neat thing. So I'll leave a link once again in the description below if you've never seen it. A lot of people are used to the VW Westfalia kind of thing and what they were doing, but these are really neat. So I got to make sure I get the right thing. Buyers can choose from either a diesel engine, really cool, or they can do a gas engine, which will be nice. Ford says it'll go 35 to 42 miles on an electric power. What? They're doing a whole thing. It's a similar step to the Escape PHEV, if I say that correctly, in the US. But they're looking for all these crossovers. There's a lot of companies that are doing crossover campers, including Mercedes-Benz. So lots of really interesting things coming up. You're going to see more and more of this where there's like a pop-up at the top. A lot of people keep talking about, where am I going to sleep? How am I going to do that? You're going to see a lot more pop-ups. So don't be surprised if when you go to the Ford dealership, Chevy dealership, wherever it is, you're going to start seeing these pop-ups. These are really, really cool. Yeah, there are lots of trailers for sale right now. Yeah, there's lots of things right now. A lot of things. If you're looking to buy, there's a lot of stock out there, and you don't have to wait to go to an RV show, although you will get a lot of really great discounts at their shows. But take a look. Go out and take a look at things. There's a lot of really neat things. So yeah, let me know what you think about the little Nugget. They really do call it the Nugget. I think that's pretty interesting. You think what else? They're going to do an optional solar roof with a new flat floor design. And they're going to do a roof-mounted passenger airbag for more useful like dashboard. They're going to do some really interesting things in the front to give you as much space as you possibly can. So really neat stuff on this. Lots of different colors, mood lighting. You know how that's all going to go. All right, guys, I think it's time for a safety check. Are you ready? This is a big deal. We got to talk about this. Where's my safety check moment? I don't think I have one. We'll figure it out. Okay, so I learned this past week that we were talking about, I've heard this from a lot of people, and I want to know what you guys think in the comments below about pepper spray versus wasp spray. Now, a lot of people have talked about this. Depending on where you are, I was taught a long time ago that wasp spray was fantastic to bring with you on trips, not just for bug repellent, but if there was an intruder or something, you could use it as that. After doing a lot of research and talking to a lot of people, now it looks like you need to have pepper spray. Okay. Got to have some pepper spray. The reason why is because the intended use of the pepper spray is for self-defense. The intended use of wasp spray is not for self-defense. And if you were to use it on someone, say you're trying to get someone away from your camper, who knows, a self-defense, whatever that might be, that is considered assault with a chemical weapon in many, many states. So I want you guys to think about that. So the intended use of what the product is, if there's ever an issue and someone's hurt or you're in danger, make sure you have exactly what you need. So here's a great example. I have bear spray. The intended use of bear spray is on a bear. not on a person. So we need to think about these things and what we're doing for safety reasons, and especially as we travel in different states. And this is something really to think about. I will leave a link to this lovely little mace packet that you can put in your keychain, take with you. I would prefer to have one with me on my keychain and one in the van as well. So I like to have two, but just a thought, they're not expensive. They're like, $5-6 a piece. Really, really easy, but you got to be careful. Yeah. It's a great thing to know. It really is good info because honestly, I've always had wasp spray exactly for that use until I started doing a little more research. I want to thank my buddy at the Broken Nomad, Kevin, for talking to me about this because he really sent me on a whole downward spiral of research on this and finding out, yeah, it's absolutely a big problem. Solix says bear spray is also illegal to use on people. That is correct because of its intended use. Exactly right. And Tim says, can I throw my hot chili on them? Well, if the hot chili was intended to be thrown on them, yes. But no, you can't throw hot chili on them. Hot chili is for eating, and you make amazing good chili. So I would not want to do that. Yeah. Even if the person is as big as a bear, no, it does not count if they're as big as a bear. No, good try. And you cannot take pepper spray to Canada. Thanks, Patty, for bringing that up. I was just going to say, when you start crossing the borders, there's a lot of things you can and cannot take. So no pew-pews, and no pepper spray to Canada. No CBD products, nothing of that nature. When you start crossing the border, you really got to take a look at those things. It says, well, it's illegal to assault someone too. Yes, I know. You shouldn't be assaulting at all. That's exactly right. And Corey Tracy says, pew-pews and coffee. What more do you need? Right? Gotta love these things. Exactly. Very cool. I appreciate you guys chiming in on this. That's what it's all about in the chat. You guys are talking amongst yourselves and bringing things up, and I'll bring them up on the screen as well because I want to make sure that we're all, participating in this. But this is a hot topic, and personal safety is always big when you're traveling. So I'm going to be taking some suggestions. If you guys have any ideas, we'll talk about them next week. I'm going to do a safety check every single week on something that we should know, especially as we travel. And I might be doing one talking about crossing the border of Canada because I just did that as to what they expect and the questions that they ask. It's always good to know. Really cool. So it says, best bet to get some red pepper flakes, grind them up and mix with water. Works great and it's not illegal. Well, it's a good food thing, but you got to be careful what you do. Tawanda would say, I would plead a large wasp nest attack right next to the attacker. Yeah, there were big bugs, huge bugs. Absolutely. I love that. Very cool. All right, let's go on here. It's time for the camper van spotlight. I'm so excited about this. This is our new little moment where we get to talk about, van life. All right, so you know me. I'm a camper van kind of gal. I love my camper van. I've had a Class C. I have not had Class A, but I've had 2 Class Cs, and now I'm in a camper van. And I love to tell people, and it is really the truth. I think that Johnny and Kelly actually inspired me to get a camper van. It was one of those Goldilocks moments where one was too small, one was too big, and the camper van is actually just right. So I'm very, very happy about getting my camper van. I've had it for 2 years now, and I'm now starting to really personalize it, which is cool. And we'll talk about that just a second here. So let's see. I think we need to talk about the table. Oh, this is the table that Johnny built for me. It's so cool. I'm so excited. So thank you very much, Johnny, for taking the time and doing this. I know we talked about this a year ago. We're like, we just got to take the time and do it. But I had a couple ideas as to what I wanted. And one of my biggest complaints in my van was I need a cup holder. I know it sounds like a crazy thing, but when you guys start having your campers, you start thinking, how can I personalize it? What do I really honestly need? And I needed something that was a certain size, that was sturdy. And I initially wanted a lagoon table. I'll tell you right. That was sort of like my goal, was to get a lagoon table, but it wasn't exactly going to fit with the way the current build was because there was an edge and a lip. So you'd have to build out to the lip and do some other stuff. So we came up with this compromise, which I think is actually working out great. And I want to let you know, Johnny, as I've been traveling, I've been keeping it up. It's fantastic. No problems whatsoever. So I've screwed it. It's a screw-in bottom. And so far, so good. I love this thing. It's really cool. A lot of people kept asking. I did a video last week, and you can see Johnny as she was making it, which is really cool. And I was like, well, why didn't you show the ending? Why I want to see the table in the van. I'm like, well, you get to see it now. So every week I'll show you something a little more, and you guys can follow along, which is cool. I did a short about too, but Rosie Bell Dog likes it. She's in love with it. It's just the right level for her to just put her head on and try to grab some of my lunch or something. Yeah, that's always going to be fun. So always nice. And yes, and she has 9 more cup holders if anyone needs one. So I overbought on the cup holders because I thought, you know what, these are really handy. And if you guys ever need a table or you want an extra little cup holder, Johnny can hook you up. She's got those. All right, the Broken Nomad says, I love my lasagna table. Nice. Yeah, I love this. So it says, with the way I drive, I'm going to need a deeper cup holder. Well, these fit the really big Tervis tumblers and Yetis. So these are really nice. I really like that. Honestly, probably I'm going to use it more to put my cell phone in when I'm working or doing something like that. They're really, really handy. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I love it too. It's fantastic. I've had one of my biggest complaints is, when you go to sleep at night, where do you put your glasses? Where do you put your cell phone? Those kind of things. This table is going to help out a lot on a lot of that stuff. So thinking it would go good on my countertop. Yes, it would, Patty. Just saying. It's a nice butcher block table. It's very handy. And of course, you guys saw, I made sure I asked her politely if she would sign it, because I always think that when people create custom works, it's their art. And she might not think anything about it, but I appreciate it. And I think it's always important to have people sign their artwork. So that was really cool. I appreciate that. That was cool. Kevin says, I will probably need one of those when I drive by your area in the spring. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the Broken Nomad might be stopping by. He's working on his van right now. He could use a little help on a couple things. That'd be pretty cool. Absolutely. Laguna, not lasagna. Yes, it's a lagoon table is what I was thinking about, but this is not a lagoon table. Probably I'm making a wish list of all the things that I really love about different vans, and I'm sort of like clipping them out and putting them in a folder. And I'm watching all these really neat builds for different reasons. And we're going to talk about that in just a second here, because I really love, let me go back here. There we go. I really love, there's a company out. I'm going to share my screen because I want you guys to see this. This is so cool. And they're doing, let's see, it's called Van Cube, if I'm not mistaken. Let me put this up here. You guys be like, what? Let me see if I can find it here. Van Cube. There we are. They're like these camper pods. And there's no other way to explain it. They take a van, a regular van, and they have these pre-built pods that go into the van. It's super cool. Let me see if I can find you a really good. So like there's like a pod for like a kitchen area, and there's a pod for like a living area. And they just sort of like literally go into the van itself. And it's, if you think of like pre-manufactured homes, things like that, but that's what they look like. They're a cube just like that. They just go all the way in there. I think it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I've been looking at how these work specifically. And then I think there's a little video if I can show you, but they just like slide right in. I literally watched them slide this whole thing in, and it comes in with, and they bolt them to the floor essentially, and they can come out. So they're not 100% in there. Like as far as you could take them out. If you want to take them out, you can take them out. Okay, here we go. This is really cool. This is the one we want to see. Let's see if we can see this. Here we go. You don't have to see that part, but let's take a look at this. Watch how they move this. Just literally slide it in place and take it out. And then they slide another one in place. And you're like, wow, this is really cool. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So she's got two separate boxes in there. One is, of course, a living space. And look, she's got a desk. How cool is that? You could work on this little couch area. I'm curious, guys, tell me what you think about this. Let me know. Give me a 1 in the chat if you like this. I'm really curious. I want to know if you like this idea and or the floor plan. So she's got a couch that turns into a bed with lots of storage below. I love this floor plan. This is really cool, right? And then, of course, she's got another area that comes back. So then you've got a full big bed at the bottom. So you could have, I think it's a queen size, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then that can go over. Look at this. Isn't this amazing? Yeah. You got to start dreaming, guys. Got to start thinking about all these really cool things we can make. And of course, it's got to be lightweight because she's doing it very easily. Wish I could make this a little bigger for you guys, but that's okay. I'm thinking it's not cheap. Well, you know what? The whole idea is to dream a little bit and figure out how to make it work. And then she also has a second bunk. So if you wanted to, you could have, lots of different sleeping quarters for this. Yeah. And Deborah's saying modular vans are becoming increasingly popular. Absolutely. They really are. This is cool though. So there's her drawer for her kitchen, and then a drawer for, whatever she's got. I think it's a propane cooktop up top. And then just a little pull out porta potty. Not exactly my favorite. That's my only drawback on this whole thing. But she does have, I couldn't figure out what this cabinet was. And when you pull it down, it's a shower. And you're like, really? It's a little shower, which is really cool. Yeah, Linda Barker says it's not bev worthy. Oh, it doesn't have the glam. It's not all glam. It's just extremely highly functional. And it's EcoFlow has partnered with this company. So all the electric is through EcoFlow, and there you go. I think it's just a really cool idea. I love that. Love, love, love. It's multifunctional. Yeah, multifunctional when the bed's out, the table's not accessible. You're right, but you could do other things. So I think it's something to think about. How do we do that? Yeah, and you can modify the potty. You could come up with another idea. But if you've ever tried to sit in one of those little teeny tiny low potties, you'll realize it's not really worth it. It's really hard to do. Really, really hard to do. All right, let's see if another cool one I saw that we were looking at was, let me share this one too. I love this idea. Let's see if we can find it. Here we go. We were talking about Mercedes-Benz. Look at this. There's their crossovers. Look at those pop-up tops. We talked about that. That's all happening, guys. So if you guys are thinking about, this is the new thing. We talk about van life, car camping, SUV camping. It's going to be a big market next year. There's a lot of things happening that are coming up. And if you're watching these trends, I've always said I'm all about the vehicle first, build out second. And that's a big thing. So we're going to be looking at some of these vehicles and going, okay, we know that the cars have become the SUVs, become the crossovers, and now the crossovers are becoming the campers. So it's an interesting shift on how this whole thing works and how we're going to be traveling. Yeah. Wonder if they will eventually leak. It's a great question. I've been a camper van boat owner over the years, and any kind of canvas, you're going to have to maintain it and replace it and things like that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out too, is what's the shelf life of these pop-ups and how long they last. I don't know. And typically, in my opinion, no more than 10 years when I had something like that. 10 years was like the limit, but I don't know. We'll have to find out what they say. Absolutely. And Fairy Dust is like, yeah, I agree. How long are they gonna last before they start leaking? I've decided in my lifetime, I'm not going to get a pop-up anytime soon. That's not on my plan. It's just not something that I'm really excited about. Plus, I don't have to climb up and climb down. If I had little ones, if I had little kids, that was hanging with me, or grandkids that would be another story, but I don't have that. So I don't have to worry about that. And Broken Nomad says, it looks way too expensive for the average person. Well, depends on where you live and what the average person makes. I know it's crazy. I just want to let you guys see my co-host back here, Miss Rosie Bell Dog. She's taking her little hang tight. We have a guest in the studio, which is a fly. It's driving her crazy. And so every time you see her looking around, there's no ghosts. It's just a fly in the studio. It's one of those things we got to do. Folk of the Forest, should I buy a 4Runner? Well, I will say this. Toyotas in general are fantastic products. And I used to work years ago, and I'm talking years ago, sort of in the automotive parts industry, just a little bit. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I do a lot of reading. And I have a friend who owns an automotive parts store. And the first thing he always told me, and he actually told me this not that long ago, he said, I sell a lot of parts. And he said, the one type of vehicle I don't sell a lot of parts are Toyotas. He says, I sell a lot of Chevys, Fords, GMCs, that whole thing. He said, but I don't sell a lot of Toyotas. In general, they're pretty much known for their reliability. And I have a Toyota myself. I have a Toyota RAV4. RAV4. And it has been true to exactly what he told me. I have had very little in the shop other than maintenance, which is fantastic. So have to look into the 4Runner. I don't know. Let's see. 4Runners are solid. Yeah, they're pretty solid. And Hay says, you can't take canvas to places where bears are an issue. That's a huge problem right there. If you are a boondocker and you want to boondock someplace where there might be predators out there that could just, claw at your canvas, not a solid idea, not a really good idea. So that's something I know as I've boondocked in the past. I've gotten some metal, call it like that goes to my window, trying to come up with an idea of how to make that work. So got to think about how you're going to boondock and stay safe at the same time. Yeah, really one of those deals. I know. Insane. All right. So let's do a little meetup thing. Let's talk about meetups. Let's talk about what's going on here. We have meetups coming up in September. Yeah. I know Johnny's already talked about this, but if you don't have the September meetup list, or if you know of any meetups, take a look at my website, and I'll put my website down on the bottom for you guys to see. And I've got a whole page just on meetups, and you guys can check it out and see exactly. Let me see if I can find this. There we go. Here we go. Okay. So you can just go to my meetups tab right at the top, and you'll notice I have all the 2023 camping meetups. and they're listed right there with links and all that kind of great stuff. And last year I got the opportunity to go to, of course, Giants Dreams first meetup, which was a lot of fun, and I appreciated that. That was a good time. Unfortunately, I can't make it this year. I'm a little bummed because Hershey RV show is the same time right now as a lot of my meetups, and I'm already made commitments to the Hershey RV show. So I'm like, oh, I can't go to all at the same time. So first off, Bev's is on the 12th. Let's start with that. Hershey starts the 13th. And for those of you who are content creators, I'm also hosting the Hershey RV show content creator meetup on the 11th, which is a Monday at noon. So if you are a content creator and you're going to be in the Hershey area, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at contact@charliegraceadventures.com, and I'll give you the information there. If you're in the Colorado area, hello, the Van Wild Colorado meetup. That is a huge meetup. It's really cool. Really nice time. Always cool. And then, of course, Johnny's is after Bev's in Fredericktown, Missouri. And then after that, it's the Michigan meetup at Lake of Dreams Campground. It's one meetup after another. It just keeps going. September is a very busy month when it comes to meetups. And then I got to go to Camp Carpe Diem last year, and it was in Asheville, North Carolina. I really can't say enough about this, but this year it's going to be in Kalispell, Montana. So Solex, you might have to go there for me. I'm not going to make it to Montana this year. Really, really neat. Last year they did hiking, biking, breweries, yoga. They did really cool stuff. And you got to do all this. It was like, I call it adult camping day camp. Just fantastic. But if you're interested in it, let me know. I do have an awesome code for you, and that'll get you some special stuff, which is fun. There's also, I think the last one I've got in September is the Midwest meetup, and that'll be in Hillsdale and Paula, Kansas, which is cool. So I don't know if I'm going to make that one or not. I'm trying to see how my travel goes. We'll see. Uh-oh, Kevin's saying black bears are smaller. I was referring to brown bears. Uh-oh. Yeah, bear's a bear. A bear is a bear. Tawanda just sold a 1996 Toyota Tacoma with 280,000 miles. Buyer driving it up and down the Oregon, Washington. Yeah, I'm telling you, Toyotas are amazing. Here we go. Johnny says, there's only a couple tickets left for Camp Carpe Diem per Deb and Barry an hour ago. Oh, good. Thanks, Johnny, for letting me know. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's fantastic. I had a great time. It was so much fun. Solik says, I want to go to Kalispell if only to meet the wealthiest female whom is an ordained llama. Oh, they raise llamas. There you go. You can do that. Why not? Very cool. All right. I think it's time to go behind the scenes. What do you think? I think it's time. Hold that thought. Let's see if we can do a behind the scenes thing for you guys. And, oh, geez. It's been a while. Oh, I've got to find it. And I've got a tickle in my throat. Here we go. All right. So behind the scenes, here's what we typically do is I get to share with you my latest video, which really isn't that long, but it was really cool. And I really liked it, about going to Fredericktown, Missouri. And one of the things I loved about my whole entire trip, not only just hanging out with Johnny and learning all about the shop and what she's doing, but it was just one of those moments where I got to, learn about the town. Because I've been to Fred Rock Glamp Town, which was cool, and got to spend time with Bev and Misty, and I really liked that. But I never got to go into town, and that was the whole thing of like, well, how am I ever going to get to know where I am if I don't get to tool around and see what's going on? So let me share my screen, and you guys will watch it together. It's sort of like what do you call it? Like Mystery Science Theater 3000. I love this. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's go. So I was driving. This is fun. And I saw those vans. I thought, oh, this is great. We're talking about vans. This is always a good time. But I really didn't know what I was going to go see. And I know I'd seen some pictures before, but her property is amazeballs. I'm just saying, it's really cool. It exceeded my expectations of what was going on. She had 4 sites that was designated to park in with electric if you want. Overlooking the water. It was so really cool. It's a Harvest Host. It's on Hip Camp. And here's Johnny working on my table that you guys saw. And we just talked about what kind of wood we're looking for, what's the size, how are we going to make it work. I said, please, please, please round these edges because I'm a klutz and I could use all the help I could get. It was, really cool. Oh my gosh. My friends just coming here camping with the Compers. Hey, sorry we're late. Long day. No worries. I totally understand. By the way, if you guys are looking at making some new friends, Camping with the Compers, they're a really great channel. Check them out. Really nice people. Patty says very peaceful. Oh, it's a gorgeous place. Really is. At that pond that she has in front, there wasn't a morning I did not take a walk around that pond and look at the fish. I guess there's some huge koi. I saw a huge koi in there. And my dog loved it. Lots of little trails you can go on. Lots of really, really neat things. I would definitely say it's worth the while, even if just to, call her up and say, hey, I want to come camp for like a day or a weekend and see what's going on. You might be able to bring your van or bring your camper and say, hey, here's some ideas of projects I'm thinking about. I know she's super busy. I was there. I was watching her put in that railing on that gold GMC. It's a lot of work, guys. She works really, really hard, especially in that hot weather. And Patty's like, there's lots of fish there too. There are a lot of fish. It's really, like I said, it's a really neat pond. I love watching it. I was bug sprayed out the wazoo. I'm like the sunscreen bug spray person. But I took a little drive while Johnny was, doing some stuff on the table, and I had no idea they were having a little downtown festival. And it's the first one they've ever had. And I love historic festivals. This is like a cute little area. I mean, from locals and pies and things for the kids to do. And they had bands, and it was really, really neat. So yes, Johnny does amazing work. No complaints there. Absolutely. But they did a quilt scavenger hunt. Thought that was pretty cool. I met the ladies who are running this. Oh, and I went to the store called The Crazy Wildflower. Loved it. Ended up buying a blouse from them. Really cool store. Totally my cup of tea. And then this guy was a hoot. So I'm talking and I'm like, is there anything I should know about the town? And he starts just going on about Jesse James. And I was like, what? Really? And he's telling me that, this Jesse James robbed a train, like one of his first major bank or robberies. And he came in town and stayed at this place. And you'll have to listen to exactly what he says, but there's just we'll say some unsavory moments that happened. But every town, this is way back in the day. Things were just a little different. Really cool. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I didn't know they had a festival. I know. I didn't know they had a festival either. And I'm a huge festival person. I love this stuff because I love talking to locals, finding out what's going on. And I just met some really nice people. I really did. If anything, when it comes to a small town, I love to find a diner. I love to find the local restaurants. Just sit down and ask people some questions. What I find more than anything as I travel in the United States is I find that there are some amazing, nice people. There are more good people in this country than bad. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I just find more people that are just caring, giving, concerned, willing to help you out. Really neat stuff like that. And they were giving away free little carriage rides too. It was really cool, taking you through all the sites. Yes, this is Fredericktown, Missouri. So it's in Missouri. Frederick. I just say Fredericktown because I would say Fredericton as a Southern person. I have to say it like a Missouri person. Yeah, there we go. Fredericktown. Very cool. Thank you. Yeah. And there are lots and lots more good people than bad. There really are. Sometimes, unfortunately, we just give bad people a microphone. They need to be cut off. We'll just cut them off. It's okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I think I'm going to be sharing a little more of these small towns. Here, of course, that's Bev and Misty's Frederick Glamp Town, where they have the teepees, which is really neat. So they have lots of stuff to stay in. You can bring your RV, of course, but if you want to like rent a teepee, I think that's fantastic. And Johnny's her meetup's going to be there. And of course, so is Bev's. So fantastic campground. If you've never been, if you can't make it to the meetup, which is sort of sad, but if you just want to go and check it out, make a reservation, make a weekend out of it. Go there and hang out in the river and play. And they have those little, they call it the shut-ins, where you just sort of wade and chillax and whatever. But yeah, it was a fantastic time. I would go back in a heartbeat. The drive was amazing too. And going to and from, because I was coming from, I'm trying to think where I was, Kentucky before this. I was in Alabama that morning. This was a long day. Johnny's like, are you sure? You want to do this? I drove from Huntsville, Alabama. So it's Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois. Is that right? Because it's like a little bit like I had to like go in this weird stretch. And Indiana, Illinois, thank you, and then Missouri. Crazy. Really cool, but a long day of driving. So I have to think twice about doing that again. Just to, whatever. Sometimes driving's nice. All right. Is that Johnson shut-ins? Good question. I don't know. If someone knows what that is, that would be a good idea. I don't know. I have no idea if it was Johnson shut-ins. We do have one more tidbit of safety things to let you guys know about. It is recall time. And we like to make sure you guys know what recalls are happening, because if you know me, things happen. Here we Okay. Now, you may know someone, or this may be you, that this impacts, but I want you guys to understand this. Tires happens all the time. So Yokohama Tire Corporation, I'm going to say that incorrectly, is recalling a specific tire. They're 504C. Okay, there's a size. There's a lot of these tires out there. There's a total of almost 7,000 of these things. And they've been put on different travel trailers and whatnot. These things are a problem with the air bubble in the sidewall. It'll cause them to rapidly lose air pressure, and then you have loss of vehicle control. So we have a safety concern. So we want to make sure that if you have one of these, or if you know someone who has one of these, if you want to take a screenshot, I'm all about taking a screenshot and saying, hey, do you know about these things? What ends up happening on many of these recalls is you don't know about them until 30, 60, 90 days after they've made the recall notice. And that's the frustrating part. That's why I'm letting you guys know on these recalls what's happening. So I did not get my recall notice until about 90 days after, when I found that my generator had a serious gas leak and could have caught on fire and or exploded. That would have caused a serious issue on my travel plans and safety issues. So once again, bringing it to you guys. You need to know that. Let's see who's here. Mimi Ray's Crafty Corner. Hey, just off the bed, wanted to say hi and leave a thumbs up. You are so sweet. Thank you so much for being here. Johnny says at 22.5 inches, these are motorhome tires. It's pretty big ones at that. Yeah, I think these are for the big rigs. But you know what? It's still an issue. We got to make sure we take care of our friends and they know what's going on. Absolutely. All right, let me take that off. All right, guys, we are hanging out with 33 in the house. What? No way. Do me a favor and give me a thumbs up if you haven't done that so far. I would appreciate that. And tell me what's going on. Hey guys, guess what? I got my Stinky Slinky. Oh yeah. And this is the one that I wore. It's not used, guys. Let me just start with that. It's not used. Brand spanking new. There you go. Take a look. This is the one I used for the promo photos for my Stinky Slinky comedy tour. And it was a lot of fun, by the way. I had to find a place that would let me get a Stinky Slinky that wasn't, $1,000. It seems like they think they're gold, right? Every time you get a Stinky Slinky, it's like $50, $70, $100, $200 for these things. But I want to say thanks to Banks & Motors for hooking me up with just a little Stinky Slinky and do my photos. So that was really cool. I appreciate those guys. They've been really good. And they've actually been letting me go through a few RVs. And I was going through a Winnebago Revel, looking at whether I wanted to go on the Sprinter way. I was thinking about it. I'm not sure what to do there. If I was going to stick with the Dodge, do the Ram ProMaster, stay with that one. It's been a little interesting. Been a really interesting couple weeks to see which way I was going to go and how it's all going to work out. Even looked into a lift kit. For my van and talked to some off-roaders. So, oh my gosh, it's Sean. Hey, Sean. Yep, all the gang is here. They're saying love to you all. That's so sweet. Mwah! Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. So yeah, if you guys have ever thought about getting a lift kit for your van, talk to me because I learned a lot. There is a place called Off Highway Vans in Moab, Utah, and they sell a lift kit for Ram ProMasters. And I talked to them a little bit, said, okay, what exactly does that do? It would give me 3 inches on one in the front. I think 2.5 in the back. And the reality is I've got about 6.5 inches of ground clearance as we speak. So it would give me, like maybe 9 in the front, but I'd still be, it's a lot of money for just a couple inches. And it doesn't really give me the ground clearance that I was really hoping to get. And after talking to a couple places that install those things, a lot of people are saying they're no longer doing it because it was causing some other issues. Of course, it voids your warranty. If you have a new vehicle and you start putting this on, it's going to void your warranty on some stuff. So yeah. Oh, here we go. I was talking about Stinky Slinkies. Came in with the Converse. We saw someone walking from the dump station, pulling their portable dump with their Stinky Slinky around their neck. Ooh, really? I don't care how much you wash these things out. I would not do that. Not cool. Not cool. Looks more like a 22nd century didgeridoo than a Stinky Slinky. It does. It's pretty cool. I would not put my mouth to it. Just saying. Not cool. Put Bilston shocks on your ProMaster. a bit of a lift. It's what I did. Oh, good to know. Yeah, I was looking at sumo springs and the lift. I was trying to come up with like a whole idea. I had some thoughts on this, but yeah, it's been hard. Why I still have no rig, lots of home. You know what? It's okay. I'm telling you, I'm building one in my mind. I keep having some ideas and putting some stuff together. I love my van. I'm not saying I don't love my van, but I'm now just finally after 2 years, I'm making the decision to keep it. So this is interesting, guys, because a lot of time you get a built out rig and you're like, okay, after 2 years, like, am I going to sell it? Am I going to keep it? What am I going to do with this thing? Um, it's been a challenge because I didn't want to do anything to it in case I was going to resell it. Anytime you start to mess with it, it's hard to resell it. So I think I'm going to keep it. I think that's sort of where I'm heading. I'm just going to alter it in ways of the things that I really want or I really need, the way in which I travel. So the hardest thing for me is like boondocking, so there's an energy issue. I want to make sure I have enough energy. I have a generator because I got, little sleeping beauty back here for the puppy. But I'm getting to the point where I think I'm making my wish list and checking off twice. I love this. And Pay's like, I know a great van builder. I know. I know. It's going to be interesting. I feel sorry for her. She's got enough on her plate right now, though. I've got to figure out which van I'm going with first, and then we'll work on the other stuff because I'm going to look for some really unique things. I know that Bev's van was really unique, but mine's going to be like an engineering feat. I'm going to look for a lot of multi-purpose, hidden, hinged building things. It's going to be a piece of art when it's all said and done. And I want this. I met the guy who has he has like a deck off the back of his van. And you're like, why would I ever need a deck? You know what? When you're a traveling comedian, it makes for a great stage. Pretty handy. I would love that because I go to a lot of places. I do a lot of what I call campfire comedy sets, which is fun, but it's nice to have a stage and have your PA system and everything. And I have a friend who's a musician and he has the same thing. And it's really, really, really cool. I would love that. Love tacos. So do I. Just saying. Screaming 2 will segue on tacos. Deborah's like, I have sumos. Bilston added much better riding clearance. Oh, good to know. I'll take that into account there. Jai's like, when are you coming to Michigan? Well, great question. I will be in Michigan in September, probably towards the end of September. I've got to be in Elkhart, Indiana after the Hershey RV show, which is sort of weird because after the Hershey RV show, everyone goes back to Michigan, and Michigan has like a industry day for a lot of things. So if you didn't see it in Hershey, it'll be in Elkhart like at the end of September. There you go. Let's see. We're there spending. A question to Deb. There we go. I don't know if Johnny does it. She's a go-getter. Oh, I know. There's a lot of things. And the bottom line is you just got to figure out what you want first. That's really hard. There's so many videos and there's so much cool stuff out there. You just got to take your time, figure out what's important to you. And if you don't know, take your time. Go rent one. Anyone who asks me these days if they're looking to buy an RV, which one should I get? Do I need a Class A? Do I need a Class B? Maybe I want a C. I tell everybody, go rent one. Just do it. Like, oh, but it's so expensive. I'm like, no, it's really expensive making a mistake because I made the mistake. I bought 2 before I found the one that I really wanted. So yeah, it was a very expensive mistake. And when you go places, they're looking at you like, oh, don't you love this floor plan? Have you even driven it yet? If you're not allowed to do a test drive in that RV, you should not be buying that RV. Really, that's a big thing right there. Or when you walk into an RV sales lot and it's not put together yet, it's missing massive pieces, and they say, "Oh, well, we'll get to that." It should be put together when you look at it, in my opinion. No other industry in the world would you go and buy a car or truck and say, "Well, it's great, but the radio's not in and the steering column's not there yet. But when we get it done, it'll be great and you'll love it." No, we don't do that. That's not the kind of world we need to live in. All right, let me get to some of these comments up here. We are talking about, here we go. Let's see, I've got one in the back of my rig, but only for a duo at most. Oh, good to know. Never danced with Johnny off van life, Gina's back deck. Well, yeah, the back deck is pretty cool. It's pretty handy. I love those back decks. Yeah. So like I said, have you ever just wanted to sleep under the stars and not give up the comfort? Oh yeah. Yeah. You got slides and you attach them to the van bed. So when you're boondocking, you slide the bed outside. That's a cool idea. That's an interesting way of doing it. You know how they have those slides that come out like they're big drawers in the back? That would be interesting. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. It's a bug thing for me though. The bugs are just I'm way too bug sensitive. Tracy K said, I did my own van build. I'm definitely not a master builder like Johnny, so everything is a hair out of square. That's okay. You did your own. That's a huge feat in of itself. That's really, really cool. My hat is off to you guys who start to build your own stuff and work through it. I am just now learning, but I am not going to pretend to be a master builder in any way, shape, or form. There are many more talented people than me. Not even going to go there. Sean's like, yeah, you are so right, Charlie. Yeah, I'll take it. It's really cool. Laying in bed, laying in bed, typing and trying to stay awake. Gracie, you can go to sleep. It's okay. It's a late night. I have to tell you guys, I am not a late night kind of gal. I am typically absolutely passed out by 9 o'clock on most nights. Tuesday, this is going to be one of those things where I have to like drink a couple Coca-Colas just to like, get me some caffeine going on here. Jai says, I got to test drive the RV I wanted at the Hershey show, but I bought its big brother. Oh, see, there you go. Yeah, I have some people who are sort of wanting me to test drive a couple RVs at the Hershey show and look at some things. I will be doing some serious walkthroughs of different RVs, and I'll be meeting with the Matt's RV review team, and I'll be seeing my friend Becky Millark from General RV, who's like the bee queen. When it comes to like buying and selling a bee, she's the gal you need to talk to. As far as I'm concerned, I've talked to so many salespeople over the years, and she does internet sales, so she does it anywhere in the country. It's fantastic. She'll make sure you get what you really want, as opposed to what you think. Like she can talk you through some ways that you might be using it that you may have not thought about yet. So I really like Becky B. She's solid when it comes to that. All right, let me go back another. The Broken Nomad says Chevy Express vans, I think, are the worst for getting anything square. Oh, well, dude, that's because you're building that one out. You've got a lot of curves and nooks and crannies and crevices and stuff. That's a little hard to do. Camping with the Comper said totally anti-bug, which is strange for a camper. No, it's not at all. I am like a walking sugar cane outside with bugs. And I know they say that this year also is the worst poison ivy bloom, if you want to call it that, in years. So I've been looking at, I'm surrounded by poison ivy. Is outside spraying some poison ivy a day. I'm like, oh geez, all I need is my dog to walk by it, get it on her, and then I'll break out totally in poison ivy. RVfamily.life. Hola, amigos. Hey, and amigos, good to see you. Hope you guys are having a good time. I was just talking about you guys the other day. Hope everything's well on your end. He's like, no, way too much good info. Sorry, Gracie. I'm trying. I could talk about my life, but it's really boring. I'm just saying, what do? I drive. I have a van. I meet people. I do things. I get my van fixed and I do comedy. But I really think that something that's missing in our community right now is just some good info. And everyone tends to say the same kind of thing. And I think we need the recalls for sure. And I think we sort of need to see the direction the industry is going if we decide to buy an industry related RV. It's important. It's an investment. It's a very big investment. And most people will tell you that RVs are not an investment. But if you saved money, if you've worked really hard for your money, you want to make sure you're getting exactly what you want, and it will be maintained. It's a thing. Really cool. All right, Sean. Sean says, I'm into backpacking with a tent, not into RVs, but I understand why people love them. I started with a tent, and most people do start with tents. And I tented all through the Smoky Mountains. I love it. There's Mega Van Mike. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're having a great night. Look at that. All right. Folk of the Forest says, appreciate all the good info. Well, you're welcome. I appreciate you being here. This is really nice. It's having you guys just come by and say, hey, means the world to me. It really does. I used to do Monday nights, and I'm doing Tuesday nights after Johnny because, we're sort of all in the same travel family. And I know it's like when you try to get everybody together. And if there's something that you want to know about, there's something you want to hear, I'm going to be bringing special guests on for the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes of my show coming up in the future. So if there's someone of interest or a topic that you really want to learn about, let me know. I will do the research, and then we can talk about in the chat. We can find out exactly, where we want to go with it. Brene, did you see my answer to the question about what I ordered for the van? Oh, I wonder what she ordered. Oh, I'm always afraid. I love these. I have a bug zapper and a bug light. I'll be trying them out this summer. Oh, girl. I love my bug zapper racket. You can laugh all day about it, but I love it. It is super awesome. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you how I use mine, which is sort of crazy. I was telling Johnny about this because I know she had a really rough night one time with bugs. I have a little racket. It's just on batteries. It's nothing crazy, but you turn on, and then I turn one light on the van, like right on top, and you'll see these little gnats just flying around. And all you have to do is just swat it around there. And when they come in contact with the racket, it sort of makes fireworks, and then no more bugs. But you got to pick up the dead bodies. Just saying, you got to, there's that part. But they're done. It's gone. It's fantastic. And if you've ever been like, especially on a lake or somewhere around where you've just got tons of little gnats, man, I swear by this thing. I love it, love, love it. Naj came by. Hey, Naj, thanks for being here. You were so awesome. Yep. Love it, love it, love it. Megavan Mike said, just sold our condo. We'll be full-time in 3 weeks. Well, congratulations and good luck. That's big news. That's really big news. If you, I'll tell you what, the fun part's going to be making sure you guys have places to park. So that tends to be one of the biggest topics of burnout is parking. So let me know what you guys decide to do. Are you going to be stationary for a while and move every 2 weeks? Are you going to go, all the time? I'm curious, especially depending on what kind of rig you have. In a van, it's a little different because I feel like I'm on a boat on wheels. It's like my little land yacht. So I don't really feel too locked into a place, but there are days when I just want to sit. It's really nice. Many days it's a 3-hour drive day where it's like 3 hours. You get up, you do your work, you drive for 3 hours, you park for the night. And you get up, you do your work for 3 hours, and you drive and you park for the night. So it gets to be draining after a while. Sometimes it's nice just to be relaxed, calm, internet, water, electricity, sewer, things like that. Small things. Really nice. Okay. Natural cure for bugs is to eat lots of garlic. Well, I do eat garlic. I thought it was to keep the vampires away too. I'm just hoping it's a little bit of both. Solex, that's all I'm saying. Patty says that her bug zapper is USB charged. Well, cool. Let me know how it works. Let me know what you think about it because I would love to know. Absolutely. What you think about it. Fairy Dust says, a racket to zing zap. Yeah, it's pretty funny. My dog is like not happy when I do it though. I absolutely, it's one of those things. I do like to let you guys know this. I do have a really cool Amazon storefront that I've been working on for a while. I'm not saying you guys have to go there. I will just say this. If you want, I've got a whole page on RV camper van essentials. And it is really, really nice. And I'll put it in the chat for you guys because these are all the things that I've either bought, used in my camper van, in my Class C, things like that. It gives you an idea. And I put that pepper spray in there as well. So just take a look. I threw in the chat if you guys want to take a look. I've got tons of different, let me go backwards a little bit. Let me see. And I earn a commission. So yes, it's absolutely true. I've got RV cooking. I've got travel gadgets, especially traveling with pets. I get a lot of questions on traveling with pets. I have holiday gifts because holidays are coming around, things that we're interested in doing. And I have a whole thing, believe it or not, on outdoor chairs because I've seen more outdoor chairs than I can shake a stick at. And everyone has their preference, including like these really cool hammocks for the back of your truck. They're not cheap, but they're really cool. So the 2-seaters, a lot of people like 2-seater love seats, either for you or you and your dog. I have one for Rosie and I. It's really handy to go out there and do stuff. So take a look and tell me what you guys think. Cause I've taken a lot of time and put some stuff together and there's something you like, let me know. Or if you have a question on it, you can always email me. You can just go on my website and email me and say, hey, what do you really think about this chair? I'll be like, well, it was nice or it sort of broke after 6 months. I think I have I think I've got at least 12 different kinds of chairs from rockers to stationaries to ones with coolers on the side, just way too many chairs. And of course, they all don't go with me. So a lot of them stay at the studio house. And then depending on what I'm going to do, I'll take them, because I can only take 1, maybe 2 chairs tops. That's all the room I've got. That's it. All right, let's see what we got here. Sean says, I need to get a stove. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to have something. You got to start looking at those things. Yeah. Megavan Mike says, Class C, 27 foot. I'm worried about that too. Finding places will be doing week stays at most, out west for the winter, and then back to Wisconsin for the summer. Oh, nice. Very cool. Well, I will say this, and let me stop sharing here for a second. So depending on what you do, if you are a person who doesn't mind like boondocking or along the way, Harvest Toast has been a fantastic thing for me. I really can appreciate Harvest Toast because I had I had a 28Z, I had a Thor Chateau 28Z, big class C, and I needed to find places I could park, that trees weren't going to get on me, that had big places for me to turn around. And I was really able to find some really nice things with Harvest Toast. So take a look at it. If you're not a member yet, you want to think about becoming a member, I think I got a link in my description below with a discount for you, which is nice. But they've changed a lot. There's a lot more to Harvest Toast than it used to be. They've got, map for dump stations now, and they're adding more, golf courses, and it's just all over the place. And now they've blended with Boondockers Welcome. Had to think about that. And Boondockers Welcome has been good too. That primarily was just like me opening up my home or my driveway to someone who wanted to park. And really, really neat website. So just a thought, but if it helps you, I would say I'm not a huge fan of campground memberships as of late, because I found that the discounts aren't always there, or the availability isn't there. If you're full-time, a lot of people who are full-time start looking at Thousand Trails. I would go check those out before you buy a membership. Just word to the wise on that one. Some people love it, but other people, it depends on what area you're in. Just a thought, put that out there. Okay. Patty says, traveling with the dog is a great topic to do some information on. Yes, and I can do that for you. That is definitely one. I wrote the book on that one. So literally wrote the book. You can find it on Amazon. Always fun. Johnny says, I found a brand new chair on yard sale for $15. The big selling feature was the attached table was waterproof for the cooler. I know. Isn't that cool? I know these things that come with coolers now. It's fantastic. That's right. Tim has a 28-foot Class C. No problems with out west. That's cool. Yeah, I was going to say Tim would know. He's been traveling out there. Patty says, Boondockers Welcome is terrific too, and truly free per night. I know. It's really nice to have other people. I'm going to give Harvest Toast and Boondockers. I'm going to give Harvest Toast and Boondockers on my way. It's worth it. It's worth a shot. This is my personal preference. I'm a van. I can get anywhere. It's pretty easy to get places. But I like wineries because they're really nice and quiet, and my dog loves them, especially we're getting in late. But I'm looking for internet accessibility too. And many times that's with breweries and distilleries. So breweries are fantastic because normally there's something going on. It's late at night. I'm done with work. I'm going to go do something, and they're doing trivia, or there's a karaoke night, or there's a board game night or something. Breweries tend to have that kind of stuff. Wineries, it's a little more on the sedate side, and it's nice. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just I'm ready to go talk to people. I'm ready to go do something. So that's one of my favorite things. Yeah. And it's like, Patty, you'll love it. Yeah, you will love it. It's really cool. Johnny says, Thousand Trails is okay if you're along the coast, not too good on the middle of the country unless you have some add-ons. Yeah, just look at the map, man. Look at the map. There's RV Grandma. They are evicting all RVs over 10 where I've been for the past 10 years. So now I'm getting ready to head south to Arizona. Oh, really? Good to know. Scary though. There's lots of things happening there. RV Family Life says, we went all in on Thousand Trails. It can be frustrating, but if you spend the money on the biggest package, it's harder to use. Okay. All right. Good to know. Like I said, you guys got to do your research on this. I think that could be a really good topic we could talk about, is camping memberships, because there's a lot of information out there, and man, it's every year it seems to change. Mike, I've currently been traveling on a Class C just over a year. I never had issues with finding places, but have not done the East Coast. East Coast is harder, guys. I'm sorry. If you're east of the Mississippi, it's a little different. I'm in the Southeast. And let me tell you what, it's a challenge sometimes. We are at time, guys. I can't believe this just went by so fast. You guys are awesome. You're rocking this. I just want to thank everybody for being here. You guys are so sweet, and I appreciate your staying and the raid. And thank you, Johnny, for giving me that raid. And once again, happy birthday to Kelly. Hope you're having a great, awesome birthday. You're rocking it. Enjoy that. So, if there's anything I can do for you guys, or if there's any topics for discussion you want to do, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Send me an email at charliegraceadventures@gmail.com. You can always get me there. And then I'll see you next week. Sound like a plan? Bye.